Welcome and thank you for joining me. Today I'm talking about the listing presentation, and this is one of my favorite topics of all time. When you go out on a listing presentation, you want to win. Bottom line, you want to get that listing. Getting the listing is the beginning of a whole process of potential business for you. Not only is it about the seller you're working with, it's also about getting that seller a buyer for their home. Also, it's a great opportunity for you to showcase your wonderful marketing skills and to also pick up additional clients. But do you know that most real estate agents, when they go on a listing presentation, wing it? They're not organized, they're not prepared, they don't have a set list of tools or props that they bring to clearly help the seller understand how they're going to market their home, and this is one of the biggest mistakes agents make. The other thing you have to know is, do you know that most real estate agents never actually sit down and practice the listing presentation? In fact, even talking about that makes a lot of real estate agents nervous. So why is that even an important thing to do, and why should you care? Well, the bottom line is agents that know what they're going to present, are prepared when they present, and have tools at the listing presentation are ultimately agents that do very well at the listing presentation and get the business. So let's talk a little bit about the 5 things that sellers really care about and why you need to care about these things. The top of the list absolutely is going to be price. When a seller hires you, they hire you because they believe you're going to get them more money than another agent. And there are 2 ways that you can impress a seller about price. One, you can just go in and say, I think your house is worth X number of dollars. And if you don't really have anything substantial to back it, all you're really relying on is your enthusiasm, which is not going to last long because a seller will see through it. But could you imagine now if your pricing, if you had some additional tools in addition to, let's say, the average CMA? And what are those things? Well, first of all, if you use any kind of an MLS system, the MLS is a wonderful tool for helping you to really identify opportunities in the marketplace. Do you know, in addition to just looking at listings and sales and closed properties or expireds, that if you were to track pendings on a weekly basis, you literally could see what the trends were in the market, what properties were selling, how long it was taking to sell? A lot of real estate agents don't even look at pending numbers, but that's a really important tool. The next area that clients really care about is they care about communication. What are you going to do once the property is listed to communicate with the consumer, the seller, the client? Here's something you need to understand. Do you know that in most real estate transactions where there are 2 people that are involved in that transaction, that one of them gets neglected? And the reason for that is because most real estate agents are more comfortable with one or the other party in the transaction. I think that's a big mistake, and I think when you're working with a couple, it's really important to really have a relationship with both of them and ask them, how do you like to be communicated with? Would you prefer email? Would you prefer me to make a quick phone call, or would you prefer something by mail? It's really important to think about how they want to be communicated with. So custom communication. Also, do you have any kind of marketing activity report for them? What about once the property pens? Do you have a pending to closing calendar? How about a marketing calendar? Those are the kinds of things that clients want to be communicated with. Also, what about a clients only area? This is a private viewing area on your website where the client can go so they don't have to be inundated with emails, but it's their private area that showcases everything that they need to look at during the sale of their home. That's really important. Communication is key. The third area that's really important is marketing. What is it you're going to do to market your client's home? What are the brochures going to look like? Do you have brochures? Do you have home books? What about flyers? Are they simply a 1-page flyer, or are you doing a beautiful 4-page flyer? What about please remove your shoes cards? How about feature cards for different special features throughout the home? These are just some of the basic marketing tools that today's sellers expect. And then number 4, let's look at technology. What are you doing in terms of technology to expose your seller's home to people on the internet? Do you have a website for that particular listing? What about a virtual tour? Is any of your information on YouTube or MySpace or Facebook? Those are the kinds of things that sellers want to know about. In addition to that, do you have e-flyers? You need e-tools today because your sellers expect it. And then finally, let's talk a little bit about home presentation and photography. Do you know that most real estate agents are not the best photographers? And some of the photos, if you go look in the MLS, are actually worth a good laugh. You really need to think about how you're going to present that home. And home photography and the quality is incredible. Do you create and present the seller with a home photo book so that they can see how wonderful their house looks? And also, great photography is incredibly important if you're going to put anything on the web or if you're going to use it for any kind of internet marketing. Those are 5 areas that are pretty important, and I have to tell you that that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg on the listing presentation. I really encourage you to check out my website at www.deniselonis.com for some more information on our great listing presentation tools. Thanks for joining me. Take care.